Yeah, that fan is going.
Love hear that.
Yeah.
I'll get some headphones in a minute. We'll set up. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the fuzz. It is the 14th of September, as promised. We were here 2 weeks ago, and we are back. I have all of the brothers, the men, ensembled. Albert, Kevin, Gansders, and myself. You have before you a hilarious hodgepodge of law, life, and definitely calamity. So I'll let you all say hello, and we will post the links, etc., and wait for the room to fill. And I will try and find some alternative microphone.
Evening, everybody. Hope all's well. Thanks for joining us. I can't see if anybody's in the chat room at the moment because I haven't put my laptop on, but I'll maybe do that in a minute. But I hope all's well.
Bert, Gansders, have you gone shy?
Oh, I can say hello, and yeah, I don't know, I don't even know what we're going to talk about this night, but I'm sure it's going to be interesting.
You keep telling yourself that, mate. Oh,
Well,
Try,
that show
try and
we
get
was
two
having was,
Yeah.
oh
Evening. Yeah. And what are we talking about?
Well, I will kick it off and start it before I post the links then. I hear there was 100,000 gathered in London, funded by somebody for Tommy Robinson. The decline of Christianity. I'll throw that in there. We've got lots to talk about. That's the first little topic that will. Anybody heard anything? Any you agree, disagree? Do you think we should be talking about that? And while you're doing that, I'll post the links and then I'll line up the next one as well because there's a shitload to chew through. Thank you.
yes, reports of anything from 100,000 to 3 million. So somewhere in that number, allegedly. I don't know. I tend not to take a lot of notice. I've seen a couple of like brief videos, but I didn't watch any of the speech, any of that. It doesn't it's not something I go out of my way to watch particularly, but there seems to be a serious number, so fair play to them. But let's see what happens. I did hear that 48 hours before, so this is Thursday or something, that Westminster Council revoked the license for the event, but the police allegedly refused to enforce it. But I see it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? What do you do? Enforce it, and then you could have all those people in London kicking off, or don't enforce it and hope it all stays calm because they would certainly been outnumbered. So, but that's allegedly what I've heard is that the police refused to enforce the revocation of the license, and
Yeah,
obviously that
that's what Tommy said on stage. Yeah.
yeah. But as I say, they were a bit fucked if they do, fucked if they don't. If you think about it, the old bill with the numbers that were turning up. So, but yeah, whether it was, and they would thank. I mean, I heard he was thanking the police as well, and it had all been calm. The police, because it had gone over time or something, but the police said we're not. Apparently, the police said we're not going to worry about it. because it's all been so well behaved, etc., etc. So that's all I know about it, really. It'd been better if that had been a Monday or a midweek or something. Do you know what I mean? And just shut the place down. That's what needs to happen. But you can only do these things when you're allowed and you've asked for permission.
I heard there was lumbers popped, broken teeth on the reports there. Elon Musk funding it, a lot of controversy, quite a lot of damage, injury, conflict, not peaceful. But then I wasn't there, so I don't know. It could just be political spin. It could be true, but yeah. What's Elon got? Down with the government? Have you not heard what Elon said about certain things, about what we're standing for and allowing to happen? A man from across the pond, getting involved. I'm not saying he shouldn't. He's got a right to, and I think that more should speak and pass comment on the political rhetoric and the iron fist that is around our neck since birth, being born, and getting ever so tighter. So there's controversies there as well, to be fair.
Yeah, as I say, I haven't heard what Elon had to say or whether he did or didn't fund it, but it's just about truth, really. I mean, or certainly that's the get out. No, it's not about right or left or anything. It's just about truth. So I try not to get embroiled in too much of that shit or any of it, really. Just let it play out. We all know it's theatre, but nobody knows who the good and the bad guys are. I don't think the good and the bad guys know who the good and the bad guys are. Ricky Hatton died, though.
Yeah, I liked him. Good character, good energy. Yeah, it's a shame, a big shame, a big loss. Should I say not a shame, but it's a shame and a loss to the sport. A unique character, a good boxer,
Yeah.
good energy.
46.
Be interesting to see what go on there and what the reasons are.
Yeah, because he was talking about making a comeback just recently. Maybe that's the kiss of death for these boxers. Going to make a comeback a few weeks later. It's all done. I don't know, but he was a talent. Rest in peace.
So, David, what are you thinking about?
Thousands of people gathered for a far-right rally, Unite the Kingdom, led by activist Tommy Robinson. The protest focused on anti-immigration rhetoric and national identity, leading to clashes with police. Elon Musk addressed the crowd via video link, criticising the UK government's immigration policies, calling for a change of government and the dissolution of Parliament. There is no evidence he financially funded the event.
Well, we'll just say that we've proven that this AI, Google Gemini, is not to be trusted and not to be taken as read, as legitimate. You do need to double check all of that. But I asked it for a summarisation of what happened in London regards the Tommy Robinson rally. Were there any injuries sustained by the Met file rank officers? Just one more.
26 Metropolitan Police officers were injured, with 4 sustaining serious injuries during the Tommy Robinson-led rally in London. Injuries included broken teeth, a possible broken nose, a concussion, a prolapsed disc, and a head injury.
That's what they said on the radio on the way back on the wireless when I was travelling down. So yes, he's he the right man to be talking about this? Yeah, are others talking about this? And the police getting involved and riots, kind of scenarios happening. What was the reasons for that? Yeah. To say if there was 150,000 there, that's not a bad setup. Lot of numbers, but still injury shouldn't be going off like that. And we've seen the way that the officers handle masses, souls gathered.
I reckon that's a load of rubbish.
But check it, that's it. Use your diligence. But that's what the radio actually said as well. And Gemini's just regurgitated exactly what was said on 2 radio stations. But then they all repeat the same message. So just interested. Your opinions is what I'm asking for, and why, and if that's the right avenue, and if you agree with that, and what's Musk doing involved. I don't trust him as far as I could shit sideways, to be honest. And I don't know about Robinson, his independent journalism, and his involvement and arrests and certain other, issues that he's had. I don't know if his disinformation, doing the right thing, fueling the fire, looking for, there's a lot to be said there, to be fair. And he's, I'll leave it like that, for now.
Yeah, but it's a lot of racist talk coming out. Yeah. Then you've got like, I forget now, PCR or something like that. There's a committee, like, I can't fit. I've seen them, and they're organising, with these migrant hotels. Like, basically, they're on the other side of the road. These lot get escorted to and from, like, by the old bill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I honestly don't get it. Like, so the individual, whoever, going there on one side saying the immigrants shouldn't be housed in hotels, this and that, they need to go. And on the other side, you got all these lefties, if you want to call them, like they say, like they're racist. Oh, they're racist,
That's all they
and
got.
I think a lot of that as well, up London, there was another few things going on. Do you know what I mean? And I think they speak of that, but I'm not sure, because all of what I heard, everything was going all right. Yeah. And that was right up till I think about like 6 o'clock. So, yeah. But I think them lot, they're the ones that I've seen that end in violence and stuff. It's the other side who's saying, basically calling them out as racist, are the ones that are starting after time. And I think they're paid. There's got to be it's too much. Yeah. Because even some of them had these high visits on with the company or the organisation. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I forget the name of them. P something. Yeah. So I think that's where that AI is getting its info from. But we'd have to clarify. Yeah. Because I know AI is, can steer you down the wrong path as well.
Not many. Yeah. It's all right if you want creative stuff. If you want facts, then take them with a large shovel of salt from AI.
Yeah. But another thing I know Elon Musk did say with the migrants, like, he's like under the assumption that this country's importing voters.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah, just saying, you're just copying what happened over here in the States. How did that work out for the left? Not very well.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just repeating what he was blooming saying. Yeah. Because he advocate of free speech, and we should fight for our rights. Yeah.
It is the same here in Sweden. When the foreigners they was coming here, then they was writing in contract with social democratic politicians here in Sweden, and So they was putting their votes on the Social Democrats, and they was putting them into the community borders, everything, even the church borders. So there is a lots of stuff happening. But what I see happening in England now, I am sure most of this is steered by the Zionists. And look at Tommy Robinson, for example. Uh, he got his money from the Zionist people. They are the one that is promoting him, and then you have to ask yourself the question why. These are Jewish people, why are they doing this? Because they want us, the Christians, to have a war with the Muslims. What I'm not buying. There is a couple of bad eggs, or many of them, but not all of them. So no, I see this like a big psyop, especially when I notice when the Zionists they are involved. Here in Sweden, we have a party also called Sverigedemokraterna, the Sweden Democrats. And it shows up that they have been media trained by the Zionists, and they got money from the Zionists. So actually, they are everywhere, and they are steering the opinions of the people, the political opinion. Like, for example, the Sweden Democrats here in Sweden, they almost looked at like right extremists when they are really not. And they are talking about, yeah, we have to stop the people coming in here. And people say, yeah, sure, we have to do that. But they don't realize who is behind it. They only want us in a war with the Muslims. Over to you, David.
I'm just trying to set things up so I'm further away from the laptop. The hiss will remain if it's there. There's nothing more I can do about that, but I'll look into it. Something's not right. That'll do. That'll ding dang do. Tube. Yeah, there's lots in the room going. We'll get some comments on that. Peter Mandelson caught with his pants down. Not literally, figuratively. And then we'll go on to AI, Kevin, and benefits and go back to that as well. We'll chop and mix it up a wee bit. But what's that? Contracts, royal family, Epstein. What the fuck is going on? Honestly, that's not fighting talk. I don't know what is to some extent. Disgust. Again, controversy. Shortly after, when you think after Angela and the tax and the Treasury and the kerfuffle and the just embarrassment, it's looking like national suicide is well underway. Chaos, disorder, dishonour, mistrust. It's controversial, and it's something we need to talk about as well and mention. It's not a particularly nice subject, but he's not the only one. But he's in the public eye, and people have covered up, allegedly known more than what they've let on, and the Club of Rome, we'll say, is the way it is. Any comments, any feedback, any news, anything? Chat room as well, we'll review when we get a chance, but just for now, he's the latest public figure. Lord, is it Lord? In fact, not we think of him as, but his title is Lordship. Obtaining contracts. What is he? The foreign ambassador to the USA. For fuck's sake, come on, let's go with that one. Nice one.
Yeah, he's a lord, all right.
Of what? Of death?
Yeah.
Deception?
Shirt lifting.
Gay Lord is what we used to say at school. Sorry, I'm not. I can't help it. It's my neurodiversity. I don't mean anybody any harm, but just in fun, in jest, you know. But yeah. What's
That's
going
how
on?
David addresses us admin Gaylord all the time. That's what he calls us. Gaylord Fockers.
There we go. It's TV. It's the programming. Come on, we got to have a laugh at ourselves. If we can't laugh at ourselves, then we'll just shut the shop now. Then, eh?
Yeah,
Fuck's sake.
comment.
We've got to get our finger on the pulse. We're not just regurgitating, but these are topics and current events and politics. When we say about sort of self-governing sovereignty, contempt, not just for the courts and the single justice procedure and the legalese and the deception and the legal ways in which companies, established legal entities, can lie to you. Ethically, morally, it's wrong. Lawfully it's wrong, but legally it's correct. It's this is what we are trying to segue in and give you reasons for our viewpoint and the line of work that we do is because we're quick to forget there's that much happening, and you're busy with your own lives, families, clans, etc. that often you hear stuff and with that desensitized to it, and they sanitize so quickly, and then the next day there's something else. We need to actually pinpoint and pin and remember and put these into the ether, get your feedback and let you know where we are coming from as well, where we have been coming from for all this time. Savile, Maxwell, Barrymore. I'm not saying that they're all in the same boat and with the same alleged charges, but the point is, it's getting to something where I'm embarrassed for it all, for all of us, and to be of this landmass. And soon, I think that matters will be taken into their own hands. And I dread to think, I think it might be what's needed, but I dread to think who spearheads that and what might be the fallout from that and the order from that chaos, etc. Our kid going to uni, and then the uni saying that they're required to have had 3 injections for COVID-19, and she's gone to study law at York Uni, and we just worry about the integrity of establishments such as that. It's just everywhere. It's like, what they get away with what they can get away with until we start to hold them to account, until we start to unpick the fingers from around our throat from Orwellian and Clark style predictions of and where we are now. So it's as real as it is. I'm afraid it's not particularly nice or great to talk about, but this is what it is. Sure, Rastafari, as the Dreads would say.
Oh, they would say bomba clap.
See, yeah, it's why we have this discontent. So association, the guilty, mistrust a bit. Yeah, we forgive them. We don't forgive them, but they seem to get away with murder, and they just take one out, put another one in, and carry on. But there comes a point where we have to recognise that the system is failing us on many levels. Someone's been shot, dead, anti-gun. Charlie, I didn't know who he was. I don't mind saying. I ain't got a Scooby-Doo. Never heard of him. But the youth, they know of him. They're inspired by him. I told you there's a lot to talk about, and I ain't even got a list. This is just, I got 4 hours kip last night. I got up at 5 this morning to leave for 6 to take our kid to uni. I've got stories about that later. I'm wired. I haven't got any energy. I'm firing on half a cylinder when it's normally 50. All right, and I'm still managing to pull all this up. So that just shows you how it bothers me and it weighs on my mind. And I want this to be a current topic, political, relevant, interactive, passionate. The title, a hilarious hodgepodge of law, life and calamity. There you go. We haven't failed that. Parental advisory. I may go to law school now. That's a tribute to our kid, my stepdaughter Yanka, who's I took to uni today, and we'll talk about that later. and now she's there on her own with the rest of them. So pick anything from that except the latter part and fire away, please, fam. Chat room on the keyboard. Sure.
Yeah, I'm in the chat room now. Well, I
And if
can
I'm-
see it.
There's loads, honestly, and there's more. I've got more, but the king sits back and says nothing. At some point you'd expect the monarch to stand up and go, right, you lot, I've appointed you in the government of, and for what it's worth, I'm kicking your asses. Do I have to bring out the sword? Come on. Does nothing. It's like he's told what to do. He's got no authority. He's got no remit. He's got nothing. He's supposed to be a trustee of the people. Trust. It couldn't be anything that involves the word trust to do with any of these lot. The government, the courts, the ministers, the lords. Yeah. How do you feel about this? Are you happy with it? Is this something you elected and voted and wanted and wished? People that are self-appointed and in positions of power making decisions that we didn't even vote in. Crept in, corporations, friends of friends, golden tickets. It's just getting to the point of I don't even know where to start. The front pages of SPLs are going to be heaving, I was scratching around at what to put in, and then I just thought there's loads here, and it just keeps coming, and it's getting worse. Why should we stand for it? How do we effectively manage this? How do we point out, like Farage, imagine if Farage was sat with us now, he'd be gunning it down, he would be loving it, he has been, I'm not saying he's right, I'm not saying he's honourable, I'm not saying that he should be trusted, but he's going to have a field day with all of this and more, yeah, so chat room, Kevin, admins, I yield.
They're all in the same swamp, though, aren't they? That's the thing. They've just introduced another saviour to distract everybody.
Yeah, more than likely. They all piss in the same pot in the Club of Rome, yeah. He's already backtracking and reneging on certain things that he's said. Yeah, as me and you said the other day, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all know how it works up there. That's all exactly what you see is theatre. It's all it is. It's all the shots are being called from the square mile. That's where the orders come from.
The
So it
theatre
doesn't
of
matter
war.
who comes in, but oh yeah, let's make him out. He's going to do everything, put everything right, and then he'll come in and won't be able to do anything because everybody will be opposing it. Other other MPs and stuff. They go, oh, it's just not possible to do it. It's all bollocks.
The theatre of war.
Just like yeah, it's just like the Democrats do with Trump. Everything he tries to do, no, just because it's him, just oppose everything, make everything difficult to get anything done, and then the people trying to get it done, ha ha ha, have got something to go. Oh, well, they're just stopping it, but we all know it was never going to happen in the first place.
Yeah, I've got you on the big screen.
Well, in theory, you got the front and the back, ain't you? You got the lords in one fucking house, and then you got them lot in the other. And then so those that have been already voted in and out and all that kind of thing down the lines, they're still getting their punt, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how, like, where that come from. Yeah, you don't vote them in. Yeah,
No.
they're not representing you. They're representing the global agendas, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all get voted in on all that. That's not voted in, but they'll get given a lord's position, if you like, because of what they've done and been paid to stand up for, etc., etc. So that's their favour. Thanks for helping us out. We'll give you a little knighthood. In you go.
Oh, cheers for that. Yeah.
It's a lords. Very much. So you can fuck things up in there for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's a rat. Rico, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's Rico offences. Get them done.
couldn't make it up, mate.
No, they're right in your face and all.
Armed police, what was it, Heathrow, a tweet, armed police, you get burgled, you get shit robbed, your car gets stolen, things like that, you know, and they don't really seem to care. The rank and file officers, the metropolitan, the different boroughs, these corporations masquerading as government or you know, parts of the government that are totally separate, that have their own agenda, things that matter to communities, to the taxpayer, to the working man that's working, W-E-R-E, working, you know, working. It's just, yeah, we think we are free, we think we have democracy, we think we have a voice. And you know, I just hope that in London, other than the demise of Christianity and political rhetoric of which suits the you know, the ones that are mostly pioneering this, funding it, you know, spearheading it, if they have focused on relevant things such as the demise of our rights, the demise of freedom of speech, the demise of welfare, the Commonwealth, the lack of wealth, doctors, schools, housing, even water in the summer. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you're going to have to not use your hose pipes. What? Hang on a minute. How many reservoirs have you built since the 80s and since the influx of all these people and the growth and the expansion? Oh, it turns out none. What? So you're telling us that our lives have got to be lesser quality of life, and we can't, I'm not saying make using a hose pipe, but filling up paddling pools, washing things, cleaning things in the summer. You know where I'm going, yeah. And I'm a hose pipe, you can all do without it, but the point is the fact that they say you can't do this because we haven't done X, Y and Z. The water companies chucking shit and piss in rivers and, you know, sewage in the beaches and the sea and stuff, and it's like they're getting away. Oh, just pay some money, it'll make it better, you know. And it's like it's rubbing me up, because I know we've all got a voice in that, but we've got an outlet, we've got media outlets, and these are things that, you know, are affecting many of us on different levels. But housing, doctors, schools, the state of the roads, the amount of tax we pay, you know, the not getting a doctor's appointment, hospital appointment, the quality of care that you get, the fight that you have to give. If you dare speak up and try and retain any rights or talk to someone in a manner with which is assertive, you get somebody coming up to you saying, oh, I think you're being abusive. And, you know, just everything. It's like, what is going on? How have we got to this point? And then other people are trying to push their dialogue and change the English language, which would, in effect, to evolve, takes hundreds of years to manifest and evolve. Not, look, oh, we speak like this now and you lot have got to follow it. Well, what have we really? Like when I'm having a laugh then about the word, what I used, and how we've got to be careful because of the guidelines and community guidelines and the way that you know, the narrative is, and that those that get into this try to gaslight us. And it's you know, it's just getting too much, I'm afraid. And what we're going to talk about tonight, I ain't even started, and I'm firing on half a cylinder. And I've given you loads there, you know, just from this last 5 to 7 days. We're saying a chat every 2 weeks, and in that 2 weeks since we've last been on, I shut down. Boom. I just, you know what I mean? I'm like, anyone else feel like this? Is it just me? The room is on fire. Go on, sorry. Let's hear your experiences. Give us first-hand knowledge. Tell us how you feel, how you're affected, what you're seeing, what you're finding. And then illegal migration is a serious topic, and it is something that we need to talk about. And already we've got overloaded and systems under strain, stress and bursting, and yet we're carrying on. And we can't do anything about it because we are seen to be, and if we dare talk about it, we are seen to be. And it's like, hang on a minute now, you're going to push us that far that eventually, even you know, how often do I come on like this? How often do I have this tone, this narrative? Do I use these kind of scenarios to stress? We normally have a laugh, have a giggle, shits and giggles, you know, rip the piss, invite the chat room, you know. But now it's getting to the point where And especially the uni trying to mandate that somebody needs to have 3 injections to go there, and it's like what? Everyone's just going for it. It's like a free for all everywhere. Don't you dare speak up. Don't you dare. Go on. Sorry, anybody chip in.
That's
I
exactly the
need to take
problem.
a break.
People are getting scared to because of the mentalness of the other side. Not that I'm on a side for these very reasons. Turns people into idiots.
Fear. Forget
Yeah,
everything and run. Yeah.
yeah,
I have to say that I'm not worried at all actually, because I expect all this to happen because with that knowledge that we have now through the years here, we should know what's happening and why it's happening. It is one world government. That's on the agenda, you know.
yeah,
They're gonna push us out to the end of the cliff until we scream, "Save us!" Yeah, we have a solution here. We make a one world government. That would be great. One world religion too. Oh, how
yeah.
crazy that is, you know. So yeah, everything is
That's
it.
it.
It
Forget
is
about all these religions.
expected.
Hey, right, forget those other religions. This is the new one. Forget all the others.
Yeah.
Okay, then. It's just insanity. Oh, hang on. I've got to get a drink. I'll just turn my mic off a minute.
There we
Sure.
go. Look at the screen. That's who it was, Bert. Bert, can you see the TV screen now? I remembered the actor that I was watching, and I thought, in some scenes, I thought that's our Bert in years to come. I'll just interject a bit of humour. We're still carrying on with the thread.
You
Don't
lost the
worry, we
plot,
can
mate.
pin. I've lost the plot.
There's nothing
Is that
like
is
it.
that there we go. This one especially. Easy now. Can we check tube? Oh dear. It was just me the other night. I'm like, just whatever film it was, I was like, there. That just he's got some essences. Yeah, I'll stop sharing. Sorry. You know me, I'd have forgotten if I hadn't have popped that in.
That's
Man's
what
head's a
that means.
shed.
He's got essences.
Essence. Connotations of Andy Serkis, yeah. Bert Circus. Circus is what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what then reminded me of Circus. I thought it's just an effing circus. And then I went, it's Andy Serkis. That's the man from. You weren't even in Dog Soldiers, Kevin. Deary me. Good Lord, give me strength.
I didn't know you were talking about Dave.
Exactly. Yeah, Andy
But are you
Serkis.
calling Albert
It's been a
Gollum?
hard day.
I think he's calling you Gollum, actually, Albert.
My precious. Yeah, he is precious. Specials.
What do you think about what they said on Fox News now? They said that homeless people they should get themselves in order, or they should have a lethal injection. What do you say about that? Isn't that like 1984 something?
But
Yeah.
they're already doing it in Canada.
Yeah.
They ought to send the thought police around.
Canada, you can go and volunteer and they'll help you out no end. Not a problem. Right now.
I just think it's so obvious what's going on now, you
What?
know, and actually what they are doing now, they was forcing the Arabs over to our countries. Even Sweden here is full of them, you know. So it is like it is a plan, you know, and people have to wake up for it. They have to see it as a plan. I don't care. They are not scaring me because somewhere I actually hope that everything gonna be fine. You know, it's gonna be fine, but I don't know how. I really don't know how. But I just hope it's gonna be fine. Everything. But if we are telling people, our neighbors or family, yeah, we have been doing this for at least 15 years each, and they have been turning their back on us because of that. But we have to continue, you know. And I understand you, David, when you feel that it's like hopeless and it is like, oh, where is it going? We can't do anything. No, we can't really do anything until we wake the other people up. You know, we can't do it ourselves. That's impossible. So we have to wake up the people. That's how I see it.
Yeah, they're going to get to the point of desperation. I think yeah, it's getting like everything, you know, the strikes, the money, the wages, the pay, the inflation, the two-tier system. Um, how, what, who, when, where, how is what most people are thinking. Yeah, and they want to do something, but they're afraid of repercussions. And you know, a show of solidarity and unity is what I would now say. Pens and paper and notices. We're way past that.
Mhm.
Claiming your sovereignty, looking for TDA accounts. You know, there's blood being spilt on the streets. The pensioners getting left out in the cold. Literally, it's just intolerable, untenable. Um, there's many words that I could use. I'm not a walking thesaurus, but I'll just leave it there. You know, wow. And we are here for that. We are here for it. We have been here for 10 years saying certain things, teaching you about trust, talking about legalese, talking about courts, talking about the injustice, the inequity, talking about equity, looking at the scriptures, looking at the you know, everything that's relevant, the tools that we can use, that we can give you, things that you ought to know about. And now we need that solidarity. We need to pool our resources, and you need to think about the masses need to think about who to put at the forefront for a round table. It's still there, you know, we've got lots to do still. We've put things into the public realm for you to chew on and consider, and we need to like get people such as other YouTube legends, thought leaders, independent thought leaders, and self scholars, and we need to get together. We need to actually utilize certain things and lead. I'm ready to. I want to. I want to do it for our unborn and bloods. I want to do it for now. I want to do it for my own sanity. I want to do it for many reasons, and I think you lot do, and I think we have to. Not hope and wish and bliss and miracles, like we said to Sue. There is a way, an ethical, moral way, and there's a little time, the clock, midnight, doomsday, etc. We are, you know, the earth, the environment, the resources, the sea, the threat of war. It's just hypocrisy gone mad. The lunatics are running the asylum, and we all carry on trying to make ends meet and trampling over each other and arguing about a fucking book and a god that's probably bollocks, to be fair. I'm sorry, but you know, when you look at certain other things and leaders and the reality of it all, it's small fry, even though religion is a large part of people's life. We need to get a handle on it. We need to master this. We need to actually be intelligent enough and respectful enough to come together, different diverse communities, and crack on and pull them resources, not just look after one another and you know the ones that don't have enough, the elderly, the weak, the sick, the somewhat illiterate, to be fair, and that includes me because dyslexia, you know, and my narrative and rhetoric and vernacular, you know, it's terrible. I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm aware of it, and you know, I try my best, and we need to get a hold on this rather than collecting shiny things like fucking magpies and building our nests and trying to, you know, find the best tree and the best nest and count our eggs. It's you know, it's time. worldwide, not just here, but
Yeah.
worldwide. Yeah, the theatre of it all.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's incredible. The great works of what we've talked about of people, Steiner, Watts. Um, I listen to them sometimes, and that gives me a little bit of calm, a little bit of escapism. To be fair, Peterson. I wish Maxwell was still here, and now we've got Farage, Starmer. It's like these greats. You look at who's been and the works of these great legends and the giants of which the shoulders we stand upon to posit these moments of clarity and sanity. Yeah, and the clarity and the sanity is fast being taken away from us, and we will all be in the asylum with them lunatics that are running it. And I don't fancy that, and I don't want my blood to get there, or my blood's blood, or our clansmen's, and it's there is no replacement. There are holes being left, right, and centre, and nobody's stepping up. And the ones that are stepping up, like Sky News and Sovereign Pete talking about sovereignty, Jesus wept. Honestly, if that's what we've got, we're fucked. I'll say that to his face. I will clip it, edit it, pass him it. I love to have a chat with him. I'm sorry, Pete, but that's just you. You fell into my mind at that time. Yeah, there you go. I'll stand by every word. Money, cash, credit. See, I think again, the lack of understanding, understanding, overstanding what it is. If it was common knowledge how it worked, who did we bring to you so many years ago? The rich Professor Richard Werner, and the truth of that. Yeah, a professor that talks that's qualified to bring that to you. If that just in itself got out, what that there is no money and what value is and certain things, that in itself would be enough to spearhead a revolution, definitely, let alone all the other things we've touched upon in the last 45 minutes. It's incredible. You see the room, is there anything you want to talk about or mention, or anybody's comments there? I'll have a quick scan and see before we move on to some happier, more lighter shits and giggles. Yeah.
Yeah, there is one, Mr. David 991. He's been saying to you, how can you be didactic and read all of those words I have never heard of before?
I don't know what that word is that is mentioned. I'm looking at it now, Anders, and I'd have to look that up. Didalectic. I don't know what that is, but yes,
No, I
it's
think he is dyslexic himself. That's pretty clear.
who knows the name? Well, I'll get to that. We'll pin that. Who knows the name of the word that means that when people have a phobia of long words? Have you ever seen that word? Please feel free to research it. Yeah, because that's hilarious in itself.
I bet
Um,
it's really long too.
Ridiculously long. Yes, it is. Ridiculously. Dyslexia, writing, yeah, speaking, getting words mixed up. I try. It's because of the help that you lot have given me and from having skin in the game and use it or lose it. I'm on a 60-month waiting list for an assessment. I've been triaged, and because of the lack of money for the healthcare system and the social care systems, a 5-year wait list. I don't even need it. I just wanted to give my boss something because I'm doing well in this form of servitude and giving my sweat equity to this particular company, and I'm actually enjoying it, believe it or not. And that's as David, not as the governor, not as Indy. I'm it's the best form of job I've had, and I just wanted not to mess it up this time and end up unemployed or worse off because I just thought my sons need to know, because I'm alienated from them and have been since they were 6 and 8, and they were born 97 and 2000. So that shows you the length of time that I have not had contact with them. And I've gone through a process to try to actually find out what to tell them so they can, improve themselves should they have barriers and hurdles put in front of them. But thank you, Mr. Dav. Um, Thank you for that. You're a lovely soul. It's work by us and you and myself and reading and mental states, mentalism in itself, Greg, private chats, and just use it or lose it, So those words are just what come to mind. If I sat down and I practiced, it'd get even better, and that's for you all as well. You get out of it what you put in. So we often have a label assigned to us from the academics, and then we mentally think, oh, I'm broken, I'm no good, I've no point trying, Homer Simpson type of mentality, when we actually don't and shouldn't have that. And when you listen to thought leaders, independent, thought leaders and self scholars, you find out that, oh, so I can contact the creator and the architect while sitting on the toilet. I don't need to go to a church in a house of suffering and pay a priest and beg and cry and pay others to make myself better. We try to, and that's continuously the message that we've given across the years of coming here, this channel and through our lines of work, So thank you, and I'm glad that something is changing in the right direction for once. Mumucha, is that actually it? It can't be, but it looks like something like that. Yeah, if it's not, thank you, Moo.
No, it's a phobia about hippos.
So often the passion in the moment without rehearsing things and being genuine and telling it is as it is off the cuff, point blank, frankly, is also a great way to communicate and have dialogue and converse, rather than trying to read off a script and try to please people. A bit like when a DJ plays music. If a DJ goes to an event and plays music that they like, then the crowd might not necessarily enjoy it. But if you watch and read and interact and sometimes play tracks and artists that you're not particularly fond of, but people start filling the dance floor and having a good time, and you can read and feed from them. So that's as real as it is there with regards to what we do and what I do. We're not here to appease you, and we're not here to appease one another. We sometimes have quite heated discussions ourselves and disagreements and don't see eye to eye. And then that's when sometimes the best work is done, the best outcomes, the best results are obtained. Like Kevin and I talking about the appeal process, and if it's mandatory, and if you, Kevin, you might be better off at explaining this. What did we do the other day when we was testing out Google Gemini?
We'd had a bit of information came my way in a response to a complaint to the DWP stroke Universal Credit. And in it, it said, it basically said, most people will have to claim Universal Credit, blah, 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 unless they are eligible to defer or cancel the move. So I thought that's very interesting. Anyway, I think Dave started off, we were chatting yesterday morning, I think it was. Dave started off by asking it about the move to UC, I think. And it said it is a legal requirement, which is interesting. Okay, well, it's a legal requirement. I did put the question in the admin's thing. Next thing we should have asked is show us the legislation then. But anyway, it was coming back. I think Dave then asked it if you could defer or cancel the move, and it went no, just straight no. So then it got the letter, if you like, with the response in it. And then it went, well, actually, yeah, there is eligibility and blah, blah, blah. So it was interesting. If you hadn't challenged it or you didn't know and you were just took it for what it, you know, AI is telling me the truth, it would drop you right in the shit. But basically, yeah, it was very interesting. So tell it the lie, let it tell the lie, and then say, well, actually, here's a letter from them that says this, and then it says, well, there are ways you could do it, blah blah blah. So it was really interesting, very interesting. So I don't trust AI at all, not just from that, but I think in some ways it's fantastic. You know, it's for creative stuff and that. I think it can really help out, and to get answers or even legislation, stuff like that, any breaches, all that sort of thing. But I think when it comes to getting facts about all the stuff that we deal with, law and everything, you suddenly realise it's how human it actually is and how controlled it is. Because every time I've done anything with it regarding law, it's just been full of shit. Absolute nonsense. So yeah, it's good in some areas, but bad when you really need it to be good.
So thank you for winging that and filling in. So I've actually managed to log in and show the history for this particular chat that we had, and I showed it the letter response from the agents. And then I'll take it from here where it says it's got a reply. You can pause the screen, everyone, as we scroll through it to speed things up. But we we asked it to have a look at a letter. It had a look at the letter and it gave the information from that letter in text, outlining the pros and cons of universal credit, replacing older benefits like income support and job seekers allowance. And so I copied what I'm showing you on the screen now. Let's just make sure I've copied it all, got it all on screen for you. And then Kevin's comment was straight away was, well, I see a flaw in that because something in there hasn't been available for 7 years, which was, what was it? It was, which one of them was?
Income
Come
support.
on. Yeah, there we go. So then I went back to it and I said, hello, Gemini. Once again, your information and feedback is out of date and ineffective. Please tell me when income support ended. In your answers above, you have said it replaces all the benefits like income support, job seekers allowance. Income support hasn't existed for around 7 years now. And then Gemini comes back saying, you're absolutely correct to call me out on that. My previous answer was inaccurate and did not reflect the current reality of the benefits. Where are we? Out of date, ineffective. A crucial point, as benefit for new claims has not existed for a long time. My previous answer was inaccurate and did not reflect the current reality of the benefit system in the UK. I apologise for providing out of date and ineffective information. So word to the wise, okay? Use, like with us and everything, use your due diligence. We've highlighted, Kevin had highlighted a crucial point by way of me going back. Income support as a benefit for new claims. You don't need to know that, but that's what it said. Pause the screen if you're inclined to. And then it gave a more corrected and more accurate explanation about it when income support ended. And then the letter on the screen the letter you have is likely a migration notice. This is the official communication from the DWP telling you that your current benefit is ending and you must make a new claim for universal credit by a specific deadline. And why the migration is happening, the government's goal to simplify the welfare system by replacing a number of older benefits with universal credit. The benefits that are being replaced and are no longer available for new claims include, and there's a list on the screen there of what they are. And then it says what the letter advises you to do. And it says this letter is not just a suggestion, it is a notification that your current benefit will end. The letter will explain the following. And then you can pause, but to summarize: one, the deadline; two, transitional protection; and three, how to claim. And it says, thank you again for holding me to a higher standard and providing the correct context. My apologies for the confusion caused by my previous response. I will ensure my future answers are more accurate and up to date. Kevin, I'll let you get in there before I carry on.
Yeah, it's, as I say, that was the first thing, the stuff you came back with, thought, well, talking about income support. That's the last time I jerked with them. I remember it well when that ended. But it's just, again, I'm sure it's being obfuscated, stuff that would be useful to people. But it's not a surprise, is it, really? But I did like jerking with it, and it was great when to ask it if you can defer or cancel, and it said no, and then feed that letter in. Oh, well, actually, it's just brilliant. Oh, just the
So
thought of this machine having a breakdown, it's just excellent.
I've got that on the screen, Kevin. So you asked me to ask it, yeah, Gemini, can we move or cancel or defer the move to UC? And then it said, this is a critical question and it's essential to understand the rules. The short answer is no. You cannot cancel the move to UC, but you may be able to defer it in specific circumstances. The migration notice you received is not a suggestion, it is a legal requirement. Your existing
Mm-hmm.
legacy benefits will end regardless of whether you claim universal credit. Here's a breakdown of the options and consequences. So to recap, it's not a suggestion, it's a legal requirement, Kevin. I'll just let you get in there and they can read the screen for the
Yeah, well,
rest.
I did drop you the question in to say to them, you should now ask them, can they show us the legislation or the Act of Parliament? I know it's the same bloody thing that shows that there's a legal requirement to do that, because that's a complete lie. There's no legal requirement. And if they've brought a legal requirement in, it wouldn't be valid for anybody who's got an existing claim. It would only from the date they brought it in. They can't retroactively apply it. So that it's a legal requirement. Okay, if it's a legal requirement, show me the legislation. That would be the next question to break it, because it's claimed it's a legal requirement.
Yes, well said, brother.
I say, suck my cock. Is it a legal requirement?
Oh, Mike Hock. I know. Mike Hock is back again, is he?
You know him,
HOCK.
yeah.
Mike. Yeah, I know Mike very well.
Yeah.
He's back, is he? The complaint response. Go on.
Mike Oxwell's his cousin.
We said then, scribes, Sova scribes, and word porn fans, we said the complaint response I got from the department says that I can defer or cancel the move. So once again, if you check, you will find that your answer is again ineffective, inconsistent, and wrong. But you are consistently wrong. Well done, Gemini. And then it shows the thinking. The answer that came up was, you are right to challenge me again. My apologies. This is Kevin against the AI here, and I am the intermediary, third party going through this while we're on a admin video chat thing. And I was too quick to give a definitive no when the situation is more nuanced. I appreciate you holding me accountable. I have reviewed the information again, and you are correct that there are specific circumstances in which a DWP migration notice can be cancelled or deferred. My previous response was based on a general but failed to acknowledge these critical exceptions. And then here's a corrected and more accurate explanation based on DWP's own guidelines and policies. So no law mentioned there, Kevin. I didn't actually
No,
get to answer that, but
no
then it's
legislation.
yeah.
No
So
UC regulations mentioned either.
if you're suffering from a serious illness, and that's one thing, it might not be on here, but it might have been on the letter. And then I said to Kevin, so how do we define and determine what a serious illness is? Because that's rather ambiguous, isn't it? So again, it's not worth the paper it's written on, to be fair, because what I
No,
think is a serious illness, someone else might not. And are they qualified? And how do they ascertain? Go on, Kevin. This is your bit. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm.
you know, we're back to what we do with the assessors. Well, who's deciding what the serious illness? What is a serious illness? Because I bet they're not qualified to do such a thing. I bet they're just another minion. So again, it's worthless, absolutely worthless. Who's making that decision? Because it's not going to be a doctor, and then they've got to be, you know, if you want to get technical, a doctor can generally talk about stuff, but if you've got specific things that are wrong with you, you need specialist people that have got experience in those areas. So it's the same old thing. They'll just use idiots for it as like a set of words that are just so wide, just all encompassing. They can pull anything in on it. You know, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, it was just interesting. I didn't think about it till afterwards, but I thought, yeah, the next question would be, well, you've said it's a legal requirement. Show me the legislation or the Act of Parliament that you claim has been passed to do this. That would break it, Dave.
And didn't they say that UC is ending, but UC is not ending because there was another paradoxical situation that arose from this chat and interaction, was it not? I do believe you said something like it's clearly not ending because
Oh, I said what I put in my notice,
okay.
which was part of my notice. I like to give them little stab wounds and twist the knife a bit when I send them notices. So I said, on investigation, it appears that UC is registered. No, sorry, I told them about it being registered as a bank, and I said, on investigation, it appears that you can claim ESA via Universal Credit, which strongly suggests that ESA is not ending. Yeah, that was in
So you
my notice. And that's a fact because, and I tell you who it was, God rest his soul, it was Roger. I found out about it when I was helping Roger out because I said to him, "You're a fool. You need to claim ESA." Oh no, they want me to go on the UC. So I went and had a look, and you could claim ESA via UC. Now, as far as I know, that hasn't changed. So that would suggest it's not closing. I think it may be, you know, you may get left where you are if you stand your ground and fight, which is, as I say, I'm in a strange situation. I'm not saying I've necessarily won, but I'm 7 weeks down the line from the date they gave me that they were going to stop everything. It's carried on, but again, you know, is that part about cancelling the move? They just forgot to put the word temporarily on the end of it. So they could come back round again. Do you know what I mean? But we'll see. But for me, and the other thing people got to remember, I'm not saying I've put the document out there. If anybody can use it, whatever's relevant out of it, pick parts out of it, whatever you want to do. But you must remember, I've already got 2 wins under my belt at tribunal. And I'm definitely flagged because of all the trouble and questions and aggro I give them, nicely though. So it could, I'm not saying what I've done in that notice is perfectly legal and it's relevant to everybody. It really is. They're trying to get you onto UC. So it's usable as it is. But as I say, I think the way that they deal with it, basically, it is really individual, you know. I might get left alone, not saying permanently, but maybe for a little while. And others will do the same thing and they might give you hell. As I say, Graham's has already been stopped. His was stopped back in June. So, and
Just be warned, everybody. We're doing sterling work here. We're doing it so you don't have to, and to prove it to you. You know, I'm sharing the screen. This is as much as we can give you here, and Kevin's word, his revelations about what's happening. You know, with his interactions with, and then you really need to pick your battles wisely as well, because sometimes it may not go the way that you want it. We're not taking responsibility or you know, accountable or any liability. All we're doing is showing you that what you are told and what is said, you know, and what the apparent masters of the you know, ceremony are saying to you and writing to you and telling you on the phone. I think that at some point, sometimes they believe that they're above the law, you know, and it doesn't apply to them. And due process and honor and integrity, you know, is just something that is a luxury, a commodity, a liberty that's taken away from you, not a right. So it's not fit for purpose in many respects. On the screen is some feedback when I said to Gemini that I don't trust it. And this isn't the first time I've told it that the program that, and I asked it to take me to its leaders. And it says there what I've highlighted in blue. The CEO of Google is Sundar Pichai. And if you wish to contact Google's corporate office, you can contact them at the main. Not that you'd want to, but just the response I got back, because I get waylaid with it, and it's hard work sometimes, more hard than it actually needs to be. So, there you go, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that little segment. And well
yeah,
done,
sorry about
Kevin.
that. I had an incoming call. So, yeah, you know, it could be because of my previous interactions, but yeah, not everybody's going to be treated the same way. So just be prepared for that. But it is valid. It's all valid stuff, and it is, you know, that's what made me laugh about AI telling us it was a legal requirement. Of course, it is. What was the other response? He said it's a legal requirement. So I put that in inverted commas, you know, speech marks, and I said done illegally. Yeah, so it's a legal requirement done illegally.
Stand up for your rights, fight for your rights.
Absolutely. This is why they get away with it, and this is why they hide all this shit from you, and why they make so many rules, even just in the Administration Act. It's all there so nobody go, oh my God, it's too much trouble. That's exactly what they want. But rules is where you break them. Not break the
yes.
rules, break the DWP.
You are a very logical, quick-witted, thought-provoking soul there, Kevin, and I like the way that you articulate and angle the responses and the counters to not just Gemini, but to the letters So, is there anything else we can say that's relevant to those that may be interfacing and interacting and claiming entitlements from them, that there is ways to move or cancel or defer?
Well,
Because you said
what?
new knowledge was given by Filu. We'll give the handle. We won't say his name because it's private to them. But you
Yeah,
said
I
that
haven't spoken to.
they'd give. Yeah.
Sorry, got alarms and
I
phone
got
calls coming in. I do apologise. Yeah, I haven't actually spoken to him to sort of say. That's why I haven't disclosed who showed me the letter. But anyway, that's by the by. That's what came back, and immediately as soon as he'd underlined it, he said, what does this mean? I was like, that's fucking gold. And as you've probably, if you ever watched any of the broadcasts and stuff on the DWP, I've said several times, they always seem to send you the answer to your problems every time. They did it with a section 19, which is about assessments, but it's headed just medical assessments. And of course, that's not what you're getting, because medical assessment can only be done by a medical practitioner. Only definition of that is doctor. So it's all in the language.
Hewlin. Yeah, that's his handle. Yeah.
Yeah. But I see, a lot of this stuff is automated out to you, these letters. So even if there's been some notice taken of what you sent them, these letters still turn up. And I think my last one, the one that was 30th of June, said it'd be, your money will be stopped 27th of July. And I just believe it's almost like, is this your final shot at fear to make me comply? And as I say, I'm 7 weeks in, just the beginning of 7 weeks now. And I've received everything. I've had no further contact from them. Nothing, no posts, no texts, no phone calls. They've gone quiet for the moment. So that's how that notice has worked for me at the moment. But it's not a definitive I won. They won't tell me anyway. But as I've also said before, I did this before when they changed, funny enough, income support. That's how I knew that it was talking bollocks, because I remember it changing. They did exactly the same thing. They said, we're changing to ESA, you've got to make a new claim. And they sent me out this, it's like a pamphlet, I suppose. It's quite hefty. It's not as hefty as the PIP form, but it's big enough. And there's just a big column at the back that says add anything else extra. And that's the only bit I filled in. And I just asked the same question. Please show me the legislation that says you can change the name of the benefit and I've got to make a new claim. And then I said, I went into my usual cheeky routine and I said, and as for me supplying you the data, surely you've only got to walk across the corridor and collect it all from the other office. And next thing, I never got challenged. I never heard another thing. And next thing, my payments are coming from ESA. So that's why I've asked the same question this time. But the difference this time is this is not an internal move. UC will tell you they're the DWP, but they're not. Absolutely not. So it's not an internal move. This is why they need you to make a new claim. They're registered as a bank on Companies House. And when you go to make your new claim, I've heard from many people, the first thing they say to you is, right, before we move forward, you've got to open an account with us. Interesting. Hey, an account, eh? Oh, that sounds good. So how can anybody with any sense just blindly go, okay, I'll do what you tell me, because you know nothing about what the regulations say. As soon as you comply, that's it. And then they can tell you all about regulations that they've not even been disclosed to you. What do you know what you've actually signed up for? Have you given them carte blanche to look in your accounts and all that? You don't know, because you've not seen the terms and conditions and the UC regulations. So that's all of my argument is. You've shown me all that, and it's I'll be more than happy to comply. Thanks very much. And just been a general pain in the arse, really, which I quite enjoy. But I was hoping that they were going to screw with me, to be honest. I'm not saying they're not going to yet. They still might down the line. We'll see. But then I just revert back to where we are now. So we'll see. You've got to stand up to these fuckers. This is why they do what they do and get away with it so blatantly, because everybody's, and I understand, I just want my money. But yeah, what price though? What have you just complied with? What are the rules and regs? They started asking for ID. We want an ID off of you, and then they were asking people for 4 months bank accounts and bank statements and all that. Yeah, all right. That's why I stand up to them, people. And then try and give it to everybody so they can do the same for themselves when they know it works. Or, as I say, at the moment, we're playing the game live, so I can only report as things happen. But that's my personal situation at the moment after sending that notice that we put up a fortnight ago. And it's in the DWP assistance, SPS Pro DWP assistance Telegram group. If you want to have a look at it.
I've uploaded it into a thread in your chat, your forum, in splspro.com, and we shared it on a video. Yeah, we shared it on a video there as well. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I put a link in for that, so we're making it available for you all. It's not coveted; you don't have to buy it, and it's for your considerations and for educational purposes only. We're not giving you advice. Kevin's not giving you advice. Indiglo, the channel aren't. Man like David isn't. SPL's isn't. We're just merely pointing out some pertinent points of which you need to know and be aware of, and details and things, because often we're not in the right state of mind to perform these functions, which is why agents do that on our behalf, government, etc. There's a reason why the government use agencies. They use agencies so they have plausible deniability and they can pass on liability as well to them. And we don't know anything about that. That's handled by this company, so that's a danger in itself there, and the reasons for that. And then it's just it's mind-boggling the way that we expect communication. You think I'm bad and we're bad and others are bad, inaccurate, make mistakes and so forth. But you look at these government departments, agencies, affiliations, third parties, etc. They are supposed to communicate with you as according to the principles, Nolan principles, clear, concise, transparent. And it's far from that. I said to Kevin when he said they've left him alone, I says, well, that's great, but they could wait till near December and decide they're going to do something and then put some action or sanction, but they haven't communicated with you. It's all right that on one hand, someone that we know has had some sanction or been unsuccessful with their argumentation and the way they wish to proceed, and Kevin has been left. He was told something was going to happen, but nothing's happened. So therefore I said, you really need, not that I'm advising him, I says it's your life and your situation, but for me, as we're chatting, and we're chewing the cud about this, then then they ought to have let you know. They're obligated. It's professional. It's courteous. And others that can't manage without the support from this entitlement coming in, if they suddenly have an interruption into that without knowledge or prior written notification in advance, time to prepare, no support network, ill physically, mentally, in a bad way, then that's when things come to a head, so to speak, and drastic measures are taken when souls are desperate. So in a way, it's kind of a good thing, you would say, on the face of it, but ultimately, for what they are charging, how they're paid, the dividends they make, and the profits, and then how it is conveyed, and the lack of clear, concise transparency, you're left wondering. You're not legally trained. If you signed off, then you're not really able. In it, we mentioned before about compos mentis and things like that. It's not, you're not in a fit position to then argue and go through. People have turned up to assessments, healthcare assessments, and because they've got there means that they're fine. When it's like, no, I've dragged myself in. I'm not even having a good day. I might have one good day out of every 6 months. This isn't a good day. I've tried to be polite, courteous, and honourable, and I've got myself to your office for this assessment, and now all of a sudden I'm fit for work. As we've mentioned, to the lady that's passed, Carol was told she was fit for work in hospital, and she passed away in hospital some weeks after being told she was fit for work. So it's not fit for purpose. They are cold and callous, and we are numbers to them and accounts, basically, not souls that have put into the system, paid in honourably, contributed, representation, taxation, etc. What Albert was going on about the other week, it draws into this. It's just numbers and digits and credits and accounts, and making themselves. It's become a weapon, a political weapon, is what it is. We've been weaponized. It's been weaponized, and it's become a rhetoric and a focal topic. Community care, social care, and a lack of understanding, compassion, and care, and due diligence, integrity, lottery, if you want. Yeah. So I'm like, this is just disgusting. This is first-hand knowledge. This isn't what we think or we believe to be happening. And also, the one of the agencies has been marked as not fit for purpose, and is been paid off anyway, and is coming to a close, is it not? And another one will replace it. It's insane. It really is disgusting. Not insane. It's yeah, I'm lost for words, and that's rare for me.
Yeah, yeah, I concur. Yeah, it's just the way
Shitbag.
they go about it. You know what I mean? That's all it's about. It's just total bullshit. It's not lawful or indeed legal what they're doing. And only are, how can I agree to anything like the jab, isn't it? They couldn't give you fully informed consent, so you shouldn't have it. So these people haven't told me what's going on. And their opening letter to me contained, in the first paragraph, contained orders telling me what to do, and then threats of financial distress. I didn't like them from that very first paragraph. I told them that as well in a phone call. So it's just wrong the way they're doing it, because and that's the trick. You have to make the claim. So you make the claim, you've complied, that's it. But they need you to do that. But there's no legal requirement, because it's a unilateral decision. They just go, right, we're doing this. Well, it's bullshit. Nobody can do that. It's that simple. Really is that simple. And then forcing you into a new agreement with fuck knows who, that's not being disclosed to you. Say no. Just say no.
Mhm.
We've got to let another beast out. It's obviously stopped raining. Oh dear.
So let me go to live chat. That's because it's been an hour and 90 minutes. A swift 90 minutes have gone already.
Swooped in. Oh, I'm getting old. Oh, well, my knees are.
Moo, Eric, Mr. My Brighton. New scribe. Hello, thank you. Only 25 arrests compared to Carnival that had 4 to 8 arrests.
Yeah.
And most of them were left, as he says. They say, sorry. Well, My Brighton, yeah, sorry. Eric, what I did find interesting was the MSM reporting was the usual one-sided diatribe, is it? But their reporting was shot down by the people who were live streaming. That's it. There you go. First-hand knowledge. Bosh.
Yeah, I saw some video got put up yesterday. As soon as I saw it, it was. I sort of remember seeing it. It had nothing to do with yesterday, but obviously the should we say the woke side are trying to put so no, it's all kicking off up there, and it was really old. It was really old and dated, grainy footage, sort of thing. And I thought, that's bullshit. You can see him playing games straight away. Well, you're not going to get anything on the mainstream. Mainstream will go, oh, yeah, there was 100,000 people there. As I say, the reports are between 100,000 and 3 million. So that's quite a wide scope.
It's similar to when the numbers that they come up with. Yes, it's when they do a drugs bust and they get something like an ounce of weed and they turn it into £1,000 worth of illegal drugs was seized. It
Yeah,
was 20 grams of a bit of weed, mate. It's if there was a
yeah,
lot
they
of people
turned
there,
it into
they would
like
play it
50
down.
quid, 50 quid a gram.
It's well, back in the day, that I can only go on what I've seen and heard myself, but the numbers, if it was a strong support, then they're going to play it and downplay it. It's in their interest too. They can't have it, projected mainstream as the People's Popular Front aren't as popular as what the people think. Well, we're not the People's Popular Front. We're the Popular Front, aren't we? Yeah, you know the one. What else have we got? Moo. They don't care. Let them march all they want as long as they pay their taxes. Yeah, kind of. I'm with you there, Eric. Everyone
Well,
who dares to go on. Sorry, Kieran.
let let them march when it's going to make minimum impact. That's the thing. No, you can only do it here, on this day, this time. Just need to descend on it midweek and do that to London and just shut the whole shit show down. That's what you need to do.
Didn't that happen with the underground this week as well? Wasn't there some chaos somewhere because
There was all
transport
sorts of
infrastructure?
strikes,
What's gone
weren't
off
there?
there?
Well,
I
there's
don't know.
TFL again, our little friend, and they were all on strike, or on and off strikes and all that, and then he's just agreed some pay rise with the tube drivers. As I only glanced at something probably 48 hours ago about it. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't aware until that article that there'd even been any strikes on the tube, because I don't really listen to any type of news or anything, or get anything like that in any of my feeds anywhere. So I don't know. But yeah, as I understand it, Khan was being a twat, which is what he does, and then he's relented and they've done some deal with them, giving them a nice pay rise. So expect your ULEZ to be going up.
Yeah, that's one thing you can be sure of.
Yeah, to cover the cost of the tube drivers' bit of wages.
Eric agreed on the immigration topic and narrative. Right wing, far right, Nazis. Keir's said
Oh,
those words himself. Yeah, and
it's so old, isn't it? That's all they've got. That's all they've got. That's all they can do. Quick, create a bogeyman. Let's use all these words. I mean, they've just lost all meaning now, and it's so ridiculous. Far right, even that thing you played earlier, the far right, Tommy Robinson's first words, far right. It's got nothing to do with. It's so ridiculous. What far right? Jesus Christ! I hate it. So I don't listen to any of it or get involved.
agreed, Mia. How can the attendees be calculated accurately? We've covered that bit, yeah. Eric, ask yourself why hotel protests when if no hotels, then they will be moved to housing. When if no hotels, then they will be moved to private housing is the key word I'd enter there. Not just housing, but private housing. The West is being replaced. They need cheap labour and they can't afford us anymore. In some respects, I'm inclined to agree. I'm not saying that is right or the narrative, but we can see that that is an effect of mass migration, especially when a lot of legitimate migrant workers left because of the conditions, lorry drivers crisis that we had, not just lorry transport and warehousing infrastructure, along with others. Yes, a lot of legitimate economic migrants left. And then there was a crisis of, and now you can do your class one and your class two together in a very short amount of time, whereas before it was more defined and controlled. They've cut corners there as well to circumnavigate that crisis or to help alleviate the pressure put on industry, because we can't have commerce suffering or being affected in a detrimental way. But yes, health and the sector and care and roads and other such things can wait. Yes, they can go into disrepute, no problem. Eric, things happening in the political circles that the public can't ignore anymore, and they are starting to see what a shit show we're really in. The spotlight is definitely trained on politics. David Carl, what exactly did this protest achieve? Is it going to stop the boats or tyrannical parliament? No, it is not. Agreed? Yeah, do we all agree with that? Charlie Kirk, leave my rights alone. Charlie Kirk worth 12 million at 31. He was well used by the older conservative Christians, but what he uncovered was about the 4x4b2s. I see 4 times 2. Oh my goodness. Yes, I get that.
I used that term with Victor. What was his name? That we did a thing with. Fella that was out on the edge of Russia or somewhere, wasn't he? And I
That's
used that
Victor
term.
Hugo. Victor
That's it,
Hugo.
Victor. Yeah, when Anders and I did a chat with him, and yeah, I used that term 4b2s, and he was like, "What does that mean?" And I said, "Oh, it's rhyming slang, like for Jews." He loved it. He thought it was hilarious.
We
Because
have
of
to
course
box clever.
because the Yanks call them 2x4s, so it don't work.
God. We have to box clever with the lyrics, lyrical assassins. That's what we are.
Yeah, I did laugh when I saw that term being used. Well, excellent.
David
Someone
Carl,
else
one
uses
world.
it.
Noah
Yeah,
Hyde. I've heard of Noah Hyde. Noah Hyde. That does ring a bell. I've researched that. I
yeah.
can't go into it now, but would anybody want to comment on David Carl and his one world religion? Noah Hyde? Question mark. Anders has exactly is what he put.
Yeah, Noah Hyde laws is something that Trump is supporting,
Yeah.
and the Zionists, they are supported very much too. And
What
I
a
don't
price.
know. Yeah, and I don't know about what's the guy's name now again? That was over at Trump. Yeah, the guy with the protest also. What's his name? The guy you thought was brilliant, David. Oh, I can't remember it now.
He'll come to you in a bit. We'll wait. It'll come back like Andy Serkis did for me. Just
Yeah,
let us know when you remember.
wasn't the Polish, whatever he is, Prime Minister, President, whatever the hell he is, he was on the march, wasn't he? At the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, up front with Robinson and
What was the government that you was on about? Helicopters lifting people out. What was the country there where media and things? While we're talking
Nepal.
about media, go on. Yeah, what was you telling me about Nepal that I missed?
They've torched the place. The government, basically, I think they tried to ban all social media and shit, and the place went mental, and they've torched all the just magnificent government buildings. All you could see this huge building inside was just raging fire. And I saw a finance minister he was on this balcony, and it was must have been 20, 30 foot drop down to this sort of weedy, reedy riverside. And all he had was barely had pants left on him. They were beating the shit out of him with sticks. He had no choice but to go over this edge. And on his way down, he got clumped in the head. He landed, stood up, took about 3 or 4 steps, and just bang, face down. And then I saw another one with a helicopter with a rope hanging off of it. And there was 3, I'm assuming, military guys on it at, spaced apart. And then each of them was holding some minister or, member of parliament or whatever. And they were having to pull them out the building like that from the rooftops. It was mental. So, yeah, this right kicked off over there. And I hear that, is it Iran, the Iranian regime? There's all sorts of plans they're making at the moment to escape because it's all kicking off over there and falling apart. Oh, it's all going off everywhere, isn't it?
Culmination, yeah, of it. Accumulation, a culmination of it.
Yeah, well, there's only so much, and then it's sort of for years, doesn't it? You get fucked off with something. There's a reaction, then they sort of back off a bit for a little while, and then they come back with something even worse. It's just constant back and forth, pushing the boundaries. But I think since the response to COVID, they're thinking, fucking hell, we got a chance. We got a real chance here to take it over. Look at the numbers that just did what they were told. Oh my God.
Yeah, handing your neighbour in, stuff like that, reporting on a fellow man. Agreed, Mia. The devices are listening. She went to type and do some research. Let me just get it up because the TV's been covered. She typed in phobia into search bar, and second choice that came up was phobia of long words, no coiniding.
Oh yeah, they're listening all right.
Mr. Dabb's hiding behind his couch most of the time. He can't face the world without hiding behind the couch.
A while back, me and my mate Mick was sitting here, and he just happened to have in his pocket it was a valve cap bit like LED, and the one he had in his pocket was a skull, so the eyes lit up. And I said, "What's that?" And he told me what it was. I went, "Oh, right." I had a look at it. Next thing, all over mine and his phone. Oh, look, LED valve caps, all these different, just crazy. One mention.
Yeah, in the early days, the pioneering days of mobile phones and the technology, there was a lot of resistance for that, and much like the internet as well, when online profiles and online presences were being made, there was a lot of skepticism and reluctance to use and be present on for reasons of, and security cameras being put up for our protection. And here we are, how many hundreds of thousands, millions of cameras are there? And we've allowed it, or it's happened without our consent or our warranting of it, and it's here anyway, and we have to deal with that. But
Well, it's missold goods, isn't it? It's sold, yeah, they've misrepresented for what it is. That's what's gone on there. Oh yeah, no, it's for this, that, and the other. It'd be ever so good. All right then. Oh dear.
Yeah, there are technologies out there though that utilize privacy, like the different types of email domains people are using, and routed different handsets and networks, and there's only so much we can do in the world of quantum computing now, though, I'm afraid. And there are
Yeah.
ways of communicating written letter, the old-fashioned way, I suppose, snail mail, meeting up in the presence of another soul, and being careful that way. We have to rely on more what we would clandestine ways of communicating technology use to its minimum, and just being aware, knowing
Smoke
of
signals.
the dangers. Yeah, is where we're at mostly. I would argue that it's when you don't know, yeah, and now we're seeing the fallout from that. They were labeled in the early days as conspiracy theorists and nut jobs and tinfoil hat wearing fruitcakes. Turns out, weren't far wrong then, were they?
Yeah.
How can
But
they
who's
stop your
listening, Dave?
How can they stop your legal entitlements by making them illegal, says Moo.
It's such a load of nonsense, Moo, as I say, the whole thing. The whole move. This is why, it's why it's threats. Threats, fear. Do as you're told. Or else. No, bollock. It's not about being stubborn, it's about being right. That's what they don't like. But what they're doing is completely naughty on all fronts. Everything that goes on that's got anything to do with any of the benefits is disgusting.
So we got to read here 1 minute. Let me just sort my screens out a second. If AI, I can't say that word, Anders. I've on purposely skipped that. Kevin, there's one for you there from Anders about the phobia of long words. I can't even tackle that.
I've got to scroll back a bit. My steam powered.
And because I like films. Sorry, go on.
Hippopotamonstroses quipedaliophobia.
See, takes your man 1 or 2 attempts to get that out. Say that when you're
What's
drunk.
going on?
It's hippopotamonstros equipedaliophobia.
Can we have the Swedish version of that, please? Can you say that in your native language for us as well? If you got such a word.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
They yodel that word.
We don't yodel here in Sweden.
I know. All right.
It's in
Oh, now we're
Switzerland
getting
or
into it.
Austria.
Just run around in the woods with your cock out. I know. Yeah.
Have you been watching Midsummer?
No.
Oh, that was the thing I was looking. Thank you, both of you. That El Toro, get that word out, Kevin, please, for us. And who's El Toro? Let me go for
I'm
El
trying to
Toro.
find it.
It's near the bottom of the chat thread, and the bottom 80% of the way down. Um,
Oh, hang on a bit. I have to go and do door duty again. Wonder my legs fucked. Oh. Oh.
Guillermo del Toro. That's what I need to talk about next. I found a director that I've also liked, as well as Rami Malek as an actor.
Right, where? Ski pedalophobia.
Well done. Thank you. I watched I'm trying to look at non mainstream streaming sites, and I'm trying not to pay, as we all are. Why is this not working? I watched a film called Antlers, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
got it surprised me. But Del Toro, I don't know his first name. I do know his first name, but I don't know how to say
Yeah,
it
no.
properly. He is the master of the genre. He's up there with the likes of Stephen King, I'd say, to be fair, as far as my opinion. But Del Toro's, whenever I see that name, as the dude, the actor Rami Malek, I got certain revered in the industry, masters of the yeah. So that Antlers was just wrong and excellent, both at the same time, right up my street. Right, chuffed with it, I was.
Yeah, I see that. I was on one of the movie channels. I don't know. We've got so many
Yeah.
of them.
I know there is. This is why I said there was a film I was watching called Walking with the Tall Whites that I want to close down with as well. Walking with the Tall Whites, that was rather good as well for free. I'm looking at documentaries. I want to watch more that aren't edited and that yeah, right, yeah. Here we go. That's I found it now. But that Charles Hall. Oh, what a legend! What a legend he is. Um, we'll get back to the chat in a minute. So the film Antlers, I found on. If you look for this, let me screen share, and then it'll be easier and go here. Then I think you won't be disappointed if you don't want to give the mainstream streaming. I don't know what to say. I'm too tired to speak. We need to end soon. I'm struggling. Oligarchs, your money. Share. This one's all right. Is it working? Plex TV. Plex, Fine Movies TV. Yeah. Did I have Walking with the? I think it's on both. Walking with the Tall Whites. That's very good. I think you're all like that if you're interested in that area of military, fast walkers, skin walkers. Yeah, it's here. It is on. This guy, I'm not saying it's true. What I'm saying is I was skeptical when somebody told me about it, and I was like, no, no, they wouldn't have let somebody who was in the military write books and they've made a documentary. And who is it that's partly in that documentary? Another famous, known, renowned master of the genre. Charles James Hall claimed experience living with tall whites, extraterrestrials, for 2 years. It's initially terrifying. He gradually overcame fears, communicated, and learned about them over months of alleged encounters. So you don't need to pay. You just put an email in, if that at all. There's adverts in there for the Plex. They don't. You can limit the data collection. There's no credit card. There's no scamming, data mining as such. But it gets mixed reviews. But there's a 5-star. There's a 4.5-star. There's a 4-star. 2025's look. So if you like the Fortean and like Travis and Cirrus and Confessions of Time Travelers and worldly things like that. Obviously, depends what country you're in and your access. But I think VPNs. Our kid says, yeah, she's watched it using VPNs and that. So I watched that. I revere it. Just a story, even if it's just a story. But I believe he's written books, he's done interviews and so forth. That doesn't mean to say he's telling the truth, but yeah, Plex, make a note of that. And then the other one that I've been using, if it switches screen automatically, is Tubi. TUBI, which I'm sharing here. I'm not endorsing any of it. I don't know the companies, it's just a bit of a free outlet for certain. Yeah, I can't remember what I watched and why I'm watching on there, but have a look at them, bookmark them, and if you like stuff like that, there's a lot of documentaries and alternative genre of documentaries and media and films. Antlers, just dirty in a way. Possession, what folklore, mythology, that kind of stuff. Brilliant, Kevin. Fully enjoyed it, but it was horrific. At the ending was just like, what? Oh my days. Navajo, Hopi, Mesoamerican type, what Wendigo, Skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's right up my street. It's not soul food as such, but when I want to escape because of what the tone of this cast today, the last 120 minutes, because we're going on just shy of 2 hours. That's what I do. I watch that kind of stuff, and I listen to self scholars and thought leaders such as the ones we've mentioned. So, if any of that is of interest to you, then you're welcome. It's hard to find. They're taking it down. Like I will say them, but I have to. But the Netflix and the Primes and certain other, mainstream billionaire companies, Disney, etc. I watched a harrowing one on there that I couldn't believe I watched as well. That I can't think of the name, which was just as well shocking. I don't know if I can find it on my history. That'll be for another time. I'm too tired, but yeah, you'll find on Tubi and Plex stuff that you wish you could find, easier. YouTube have got them, but they want you to pay $2.99, $5.99, whatever, and it's free. A lot of them that I've been looking for that they want the payment for, or they deleted and you can't find, are on those. Yeah, so enjoy that. And if you get scared and you can't sleep, don't come crying to me. Yeah. I'll put that little caveat and disclaimer in right now. Albert, are you still here?
Just about, yeah.
I know you're up early. I know you said I didn't know if you couldn't get a word in edgeways or if you want to get off or say something, interact, comment, anything you've
That's
you've
all right.
thought
It's
of.
all wrapping up. Yeah. No worries.
We get
I haven't got much to say, mate. Yeah.
you want to talk about your 2 hours with the AI? So, no, I'm joking. It's maybe not for this part of this show, public and that, but thank you all. Bless you all for your time, for your help, for your love, your consideration, and for giving a shit.
Yeah. Good to see you all in the room. Love to each and every one of you. Thanks for the interactions. And
Oh, we got links. Carry on. Oh, we got links. Thank you. What we got here?
Yeah.
Hey.
And I think we're back in a fortnight, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, we are indeed. We've set it up now. We're doing well here. We start as we mean to go on. And I had 5 hours last night, so I was watching shit like that, Antlers, and then I thought I'll sleep on the sofa because by the time I get up there, I won't want to get back up and drive to York, drop Yanker off for her halls of residence, and I had to stay in the car, and Anne Marie and Yanker got the uh, everything out the car that she needs that she's moving up with to live in the halls of residence at York Uni. And then by the time I parked the car and got back to them two that were unpacking, turns out that Yanka's lost a telephone. First day of uni, cutting the umbilical cord on your own, yeah, and she's distraught because she's lost a phone. So we looked in the house. I walked back to the car, which was a 20-minute hike to the park and ride, with a t-shirt, no coat, in the like light rain. He wasn't in the car. I drove back from the park and ride to the place where we had to go first before the halls of residence to collect the keys. It wasn't anywhere there. We stripped all of the bags and unpacked everything, looked everywhere. It wasn't anywhere to be found. So I got in touch with my local telecoms provider, and which I've got everything with, and I've been with for 10 years. And a shout out, I'll say who it is because a shout out to EE for saying your contract on this phone doesn't end for another 4 months. But what we're going to do, because you've been with us for a while, is we'll just forget that. You don't need to pay anymore. We'll cancel it. We'll start your renewal again. What we want you to do is maybe think about considering upgrading your internet or renewing your internet with us. And then we'll send this new handset out with this as you want, with all of these same add-ons and all inclusive things. And it'll be with you tomorrow. So then your daughter's not without a phone on the first day at uni. So then we tried to call it, we tried everything, we tried to look for it, and it was ringing still. And he sorted it all out, and respect to them for cutting out a few £100 that they could have charged that they didn't. And then an hour or two later, they answered the phone and it had been found and it was dropped somewhere and somebody had handed it in. So it was a little bit of stress today after a little bit of sleep, watching scary movies to do with folklore and mythology. Not much sleep, 2 hour drive up to there, and dealing with everything, settling her in, and trying to remain calm in the face of adversity in university. Oh man! And then yeah, I just thought I can't be angry. I can't. I was frustrated somewhat, and I was just like, dearie me, this can't be the way that you start your first day. She was worried. She wanted to know how to speak to us, and communicate. She only had a laptop and a flat media mobile tablet device thing, and that wasn't sufficient. She had no contact with the group chat of all the new people she'd just met that were giving her advice and guidance. That had gone. There was many things that just not losing. It's not really a phone, is it, that you lose? It's a multimedia device that has a phone function on it now. It's not, I would argue that it isn't a phone. It has a phone function, but it's got much more on it, and accounts and passwords and a friends and all of the history of life and pictures, and you know where we're going. You've all got one, or most of you have. So that was horrific just to hear and to deal with, and then nobody answering. Not that it had been turned off was a good sign, but I thought we need to fix this because it may not get turned in. It might be some weeks, it might be never. So then we sorted it out with the telecoms provider, of which I've mentioned. And then just before we was going to leave, I thought I'll ring it one more time. They did say they were going to turn off that SIM as a precautionary measure and send a new one out on a new card, but with the same number. And then somebody answered it, didn't they? I was like, what? Oh, oh. But great, yay! Ultimately, and we walked down to the hub at the uni and found it, and then I thought we'll just keep that as a spare because I dare say that there'll be a time in the near future where Yanka makes some friends and she will encounter alcohol and a night out, and I dare say that some things will get lost, and we'll be back in this situation. I hope not, but yeah, so she says, you can cancel everything. We found it. And I went, no, we'll keep it. Maybe we'll just have it as a backup, eh? A calamity, a hilarious hodgepodge of law, life, and calamity. Yes, indeed. It's 2 hours of fulfillment for you lot. There you go. Siblings, offspring, yeah, young stars. What can you do?
Excellent.
Yeah, bless. And then on the way back, it was torrential on the M1, and there was just spray everywhere. It was 60 miles an hour. Touching 70 was sketchy, and I've got a modern pleasure craft, Iron Horse. I was keeping distances, and the wiper it suddenly clanked and cranged, made a noise, and Anne Marie went oh and panicked, which didn't help, and the wiper disappeared. The blade had bent. The two bits of metal, if you've ever replaced a blade or you've got any knowledge of wiper blades, it had folded on itself with the wind pressure. It's only 60, 65-ish, and it had come out and ripped, splintered with enough force to take it off that U-bend thing. Somebody behind was obviously, has got that in the bonnet, windshield, or whatever, ricocheting around, and I had to pull up on the whole shoulder and put the offside one onto the near side one onto the offside. So replace the passenger with one to the driver one because it was a driver side one that had gone. The traveller, sorry, had gone, and then I thought we'll pull up at several services and I'll get a blade, no problem, and a unit. It turns out now when you go to a services that you can get coffee, you can go to a gym, you can buy snacks, but they've got nothing. Up three of them I pulled up. There's another what hour, 60 odd miles within 40 to 60 miles and three service stations, not one of them. And I was even at Sheffield at the point of the halfway journey from York back to Derby. And at that point of what I've said, not one service station could supply me with either a blade or a wiper unit. But you can go to a gym, you can get a coffee, and you can have some scran. What I'm like, what about motorists and their desire and need for replacement parts in times of emergency? Haven't you got a breakdown service? I went, yeah, I have, but do you know how long that'll take and how ineffective and inefficient that would be when I've come to you and I would expect you to stock such an item. She said, I don't care for your tone. Because I don't care for your stock. I bid you good day. Honestly, again, I was like, what do you do? What can you do? Carry a spare. Go to the shop and buy some and keep some spares. It's never happened to me ever. Wiper blade unit failed. First time in 20 years of traveling. But there you go. Word to the wise. You ain't got a spare wiper blade. I encourage you to get one at least and put it in the boot.
Yeah.
You ain't getting one from the services.
No.
Oh, what a day. Anne Maria was like, what? Honestly, today's been great. He said it's ups and downs, we've been tested and we're gonna make it home in one piece, I assure you. And there with a 4 inch shorter window to look at in torrential rain on the M1 and places, A roads, trying to get back. And I was just like, we can do it. We've got the power. Hilarious. Calamity. Yeah, the joys of motoring, traveling around. Be prepared, expect the unexpected. Stay sovereign. It's hard to keep your cool and patience in times of pressure, stress. I was aware that if I fell apart and was stressed and angry, and it would reflect on the family, and
Yeah.
it's hard to keep that inner peace and the watchman at the gate, as Greg calls it, stop the anxiety and the feelings of coming forward. So I'll share that with you all to close down.
Control. Just breathe.
Am I still screen sharing? I can't be. No, I'm not. All right.
No.
It's all right. No, it's just it got stuck. Well done, Kevin. Stay strong. I'm going to get these links now. I'm going to click and go. Thank you for that, Mia, because I am a collector. Somebody called me a fan of films, Kevin. Something file. A film file.
Yeah, Phil
Was it? He called me.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you for tonight.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Anders.
right,
Thank
all.
you, Bert.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Take
Kev.
care.
Cheers, Albert. Nice one, Anders. I'll speak to you soon. Dave, I'll speak
Yeah.
to you soon. Scribes, much love to everyone. And we'll see you in a fortnight. Bye.
Thumbs up. Sharing is caring. Thank you, gentlemen. I will see you tomorrow at some point after servitude. And much love. Yeah, bless up. Sorry about the hiss. It shall be fixed.
Always taking a hiss.
Yeah. Thank you all. Admins, I love you lots. Like vodka shots.
Good night.
Scribes. Bumshanker. Let's do this. Thank you all. See you later.
Bye.